I'm Chicano, and this is Paradise. Today I'm going to talk to you about the homie Gizmo from Westside 18th Street, Retro Boys Clique. He has such a positive impact on the lives of many of the youngsters in the community, and his death impacted us negatively too, because it was a shocker, because he was a good guy. He done his dirt. He was an OG in his late 20s. He had his own company. He was a painter. He had a nice little dope little truck, a nice little Chevy, white with blue stripes, and he was always with rims. He had Dayton's on him, and he was always bumping Mary Wells. That was his thing. And sadly, he got taken out by his own homies. So the story goes. I'm not gonna say the name of the homie that was with him, because to my knowledge he's still active, and I don't want to put him in a fucked up predicament, so I ain't gonna say his name. But he saw everything that happened, and you know, to get right to the point, his head was blown off with a shotgun right there in his car as the homies were smoking Cocoa Puffs. That was his one thing, that he was he used to like smoking Cocoa Puffs, and that was probably his downfall, because that's how they were able to get him, quote unquote get him, and take him out. So I don't know for sure why he was taken out, but I do know that, you know, he was from 18th Street, and he was giving the dudes from Street Criminals tattoos, you know, in order to make money. And at that time, 18th Street and the Street Criminals were pretty fucking bad enemies. They were the worst of the worst. And of course, you don't hear about these stories, you know, because nobody's rapping about them and shit, I guess, or whatever. And you guys didn't grow up in LA. But if you guys go back to see my war stories video, you get a little taste of the type of war that was going on between 18th Street and Street Criminals. So that's my guess, that's why he was taken out. And since they say it was his own homies, I think you guys could kind of get an idea of who it was. Two people come to my mind, you know, and I've spoken about them before in the past, but I ain't gonna say it's them. That's why I ain't even gonna mention their name, because I don't know if it was them. There's people that know. I know the homie that was with him knows, and I don't know what his involvement was in it, if any. Give him the benefit of the doubt. But as time went on, this homie that was there with him, yeah, he was known to do some things too. So, but yeah, so like, he was good with the kids, man. You know, he wanted and I was a kid at that time when it happened. He wanted us to do good. He wanted us to stay out of gangs. You know, he encouraged us to work. So he was on the up and up, you know. And sadly, this happens a lot to people in the hood, in the Barrio, the ghetto parts of LA, that are trying to get their life together, you know. They're trying to get their life together. They're trying to do good, and for one reason or the other, the Barrio doesn't like that. You know, at least that's how it was in Pico-Union. So this is another one of those Pico-Union tales that, I mean, like I said, I don't know how your neighborhood's functioned. All I could speak on is my neighborhood, and that's how it was in Pico-Union. You could easily be taken out if you didn't fall in line with the program, and that's fucked up, but it is what it is, you know. I don't even know if it's like that now, because this was back in the 90s. So from you know, the time that I've done my research and Googled murders, I mean, fuck, Pico-Union ain't nothing like it used to be. You know, it's like, I'm gonna say cleaned up, because there's still a lot of poor people there, but you know, LA Live and the Staples Center brought a whole new image to that area. So a lot of hipsters are around now. mix in with the poor people and shit, you know. But back then it was nothing nice, and that was commonplace, man. That's what contributed to my PTSD as well, is the fact that I'm like, fuck, these are people that you're kicking it with. They're your homies and shit, and you're supposed to be friends, right? Ride or die, whatever, you know, buddies, pals, you grew up together, and they can kill you for not falling in line because a big homie said it was time for you to go because you did something that they didn't like, something that made the gang look bad, you know. And that's what didn't attract me about that gang life with 18th Street, you know. And that's why I never joined, you know, because I was like, what the fuck, what am I gonna be signing up for? A death sentence, you know, like either by the enemies or by the homies. One false move, and me, I'm a free bird, man. I don't like to be told what to do, and I'll go into details about that from my time when I was locked up. Some shit that happened when I was locked up too, but I don't like to be told what to do, you know. So that would have not sit well with the 18 streeters and the big homies too. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I didn't even want to, you know, deal with all that. So after every time the 18 streeters came to hit me up about getting into the barrio, I was like, nah, man, you know, I know what it entails, you know, and I didn't want to be a part of that. But that's not what this story is about. This story is about Gizmo, feed me ass homie. That guy was legit, you know. And it's kind of sad, you know, thinking about him, but I remember that's one of the things that really impacted me, his death. That was my first big homie, and that was the first homeboy that was killed, you know. And back then, I was a kid, man. I was 13, you know. So I just I thought he was cool people, man. You know, he was respected, and that's it, man. That's all I have to say about that. You know, he was smoking Cocoa Puffs in his car with the homie right here. The dude knocked on the window. Gizmo turned, shotgun to the face. Brains and everything splattered from what the homie said everywhere. And his funeral had to be closed casket. So this is just shit that, good thing a lot of you people don't deal with, you know. But when you guys talk about people that grow up in the hood, understand that, you know, many of us didn't have a choice, you know. It's just like where life brought us to, you know. Life brought us to that neighborhood. You know, I had immigrant parents. My parents, they couldn't afford anywhere besides that immigrant hub that was Pico-Union, you know. So I don't blame my parents, but I thank my parents for coming from Mexico to the United States, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now in paradise if it wasn't for them, you know. But you guys aren't outsiders looking in, you know. Don't judge us. Don't judge people that come from the barrio, from the ghetto, like everybody, like, you know. Don't judge us the same way you judge all the other gang members, all the gang bangers and shit, because there's people in the hood that, you know, aren't bad. There's people in the hood that are just stuck in that war zone. They're stuck in that whole mentality, whether they want to be a part of it or not, because that's all they know, that's all they see. I was blessed enough when I was young, because I was in the gifted program, to be bused to other parts of the city. So I went to school in El Sereno and East LA. So I had that to my advantage. Like I was from the ghetto and I knew about the ghetto, but I also, you know, knew that there was other things out there in life. And I think that's why I was passionate about getting out of the ghetto and moving up in life, because I'm like, there's things out there, you know, that it ain't all about this. And if you guys are stuck in the ghetto right now, hey, understand that that's not where you're destined to be, unless you want to. You know, if you want out of the ghetto, you can be out of the ghetto. You know, you just gotta take little steps towards that goal, and it's gonna take a while. I mean, it took me 20 years, you know, to get out of the hood, and officially out of the hood. Because when you're in LA, man, if you're from the ghetto and when you're in LA, hey, you're still in that whole fucking mind frame, you know. Because I mean, you go from one ghetto to the other, you know, and it's all around you, you know, the violence, the drugs, you know, you just have that PTSD, you know, that doesn't allow you to ease up. So, but hey, you can make progress to move to a different part of the state, different part of the country, or like me, get out of the United States. That was my main goal. And you know what? PTSD is a motherfucker. You know what PTSD tells me? Even here, it's crazy, man. 20 years later, I'm thinking, fuck, you know, I'm up at night thinking like, fuck, should I have, you know, created that video? Like if something bad's gonna happen to me, you know, like if someone's gonna come and take my life. It's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, but that's the way, that's what PTSD is, man, you know? It's a mental disease, you know? It is what it is. I'm gonna call it like it is, you know, because when it creeps up on you, there's nothing you could do, you know? So in that respect, yeah, I have that disease, you know, PTSD, and it's irrational, you know. That's what it is. That's what these you know, mental problems are. They're irrational, you know. And I try my best to not have it, you know. Like I try my best to not have it. And for me, what always works is praying. It's praying, man. That's the one thing that centers me, unlike anything else, because I've worked so hard to develop a good bond with God, you know, a heart-to-heart bond, you know, because I'm after God's heart. That's what I'm after. That's my main goal in life, to be after God's heart and to not do things that go against his wishes, because there's nothing worse in the world than feeling like you let God down, because he's so good to you. He's so good to us. And when you let him down, it's like God's gonna have your back no matter what, but you got to get to the point where you love him so much that you don't want to fuck up because you don't want to hurt him. You know, that's my goal now. That's where I'm at. And of course, being somewhere like this helps, you know. And that's why, I mean, I'm not saying that's why I love God so much, but God has helped me a tremendous amount, man. He's kept me from getting killed. I've been shot at. I've heard bullets pass my head, you know. And I'm gonna go into stories about that later. But you're not gonna get anywhere without God. And it upsets me, the people that come up in life that act big and bad, like, you know, I did this, it's me, it's my discipline, it's my tough my hard work, you know, I'm the one, me. And if you're like me, you can do it too. Come on, man. That's a lot of that ain't true. If you have anything good in your life, anything, it's due to God. He provided that for you. So you got to give thanks to God. That's why you're in the position you're in. So instead of saying, I would like for the influencers that are out there that are doing well in life, instead of saying, look, I'm here because of my hard work and everything that I did. Yeah, that's a given. You know, like God helps those that help themselves. It's a given, brother. We know, right? But you got to give God the glory, because without him, you wouldn't have been able to do what you do. So don't fake the funk acting like it's all you, brother, because it's not, you know. So that's my main goal in life, is to guide you guys to look up, to pray, to go after God's heart. Oh my God, it feels so good when you have a heart-to-heart with God. Whew, man, such a beautiful thing. So that's my story on Gizmo. And like always, man, I end it with God, because it starts with God and it ends with God. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. So don't get it twisted. And pray, seek God, listen with your conscience, that's God talking to you, and then act according to what God is telling you to do. And then you'll be happy. All right, I'll talk to you guys later, man. Stay up.